Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're doing GMA Friday for today's second video. So, as always on a Friday, we're having a look at the weather for the next 30 days, a month ahead, with Japanese and CFS V2 models. I shall get on with that for you very shortly. It takes us into the first half of August, so we'll see, what these two models are predicting for the next 4 weeks. And I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video released today was our 7 AM forecast, and we've got 10 to 14 there with all operating features coming up in around an hour or so's time. Please like, share, subscribe on all videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so I'm going to leave the webcam on for this. I'm going to start off by having a look at the GMA 500 millibar high dominance from the North Pole and Arctic view down. So this, of course, is the North Pole of the Northern Hemisphere just here. We've got the wider Arctic Circle around there, and we've got mid-latitudes around there. Blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure. Yellow, orange, and red extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. These are broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 16th through the 23rd of July. So the coming week, we'll have high pressure above average heights, centered right over top of the UK and Ireland, with below average heights to our south. We'll be pulling in wind from an east or southeast direction. It looks very warm, if not hot, in the week ahead with the JMA. Dry, fine, high-pressure dominated weather for the first week starts off. Going through to week 2, which will be the 23rd to the 30th of July, and we find that the above average heights begins to shift out to our north and northwest a little bit. Below average heights begin to set up to our south. That could hint at a fungi breakdown as that low pressure pushes up from France. We may start to see some thunderstorms breaking out, particularly for more southern areas. The driest weather with that is in the north and in the northwest. The wettest weather would be in the south, in the southeast. That could be like a fungi breakdown sort of week. And then we go through to week 3 and 4, which takes us from the 30th of July to the 13th of August. Look at this. We find ourselves placed under a trough of below average heights through the first half of August. So the GMA is placing us under a trough of low pressure within the 500 millibar flow. Nothing more to say about that other than it would be an unsettled first half to August with showers and longer spells of rain, and probably quite a bit cooler than we've had during July as well. Bear in mind, it's a 2-weekly anomaly, so it might be a little bit transitional. There might be a very strong signal for, say, week 3 to be, really unsettled the first week of August, maybe. And then by week 4, we might be going back to a bit more high pressure. Something like that could be going on. But for the anomaly for the 2-week period, it does look quite unsettled, with the UK pretty much under a trough of below average heights. Let's have a look at the tropical and mid-latitude view to confirm all of this. So we can't see the Arctic, North Pole, Greenland, Scandinavia. All those areas are off the chart up there. But we have a look at that view down, so we know what's going on. Week 1 is looking like this in terms of 500 millibar heights. So we're in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it, by the way. So week 1 is under high pressure. High pressure dominates this week from the 16th to the 23rd of July. We're high and dry under a large area of high pressure. Consequently, temperature anomalies for the week ahead are significantly more than average. It's quite a hot week to come. We're sort of 1 to 2 degrees at least above average. So yeah, very warm week on the way. And of course, as we're under high pressure, it's pretty dry as well. So have a very warm or hot and dry start to begin with. Then we go through to week 2, which is going to be the last week of July. It takes from the 23rd to the 30th of July. The high pressure then, the above average heights pulling out to our north and northwest, so below average heights to our south, beginning to push further northwards. So the temperature anomaly is starting to cool down to our south. It's starting to go a little bit cooler to our south. That's because of all the rain, of course, pushing northwards. Still actually on the warm and average side, though, really, for most parts of the UK and Ireland, especially so for more northern and western areas, interestingly. So it's like a transitional week. It's breaking down the high pressure, turning more unsettled, and especially so down in the south. The precipitation anomaly looks like that. So still dry around in most areas. Notice it is, come over to this side of the chart, it is wetter than average to our southeast across much of the continent, and this wet weather will be starting to move in towards more southern areas as well. So the last week of July is like a transition from the high pressure into something more unsettled, and probably involving like thunderstorms, I would have thought, at least initially. And then weeks 3 and 4 places us under the trough of below average heights over top of the country. So you expect this to be a cooler week. The temperature anomaly for weeks 3 and 4 takes us through the first half of August, really 30th of July to 13th of August. Looks like that. It's still holding up okay, actually. I mean, it's lowering as we're going along week by week. So, we start off very, very warm to hot, and we gradually lower that temperature anomaly away. But still probably a little bit on the, still either average to slightly above, really. And Scotland does look quite warm, actually, with that. It is more unsettled, though. The precipitation anomaly goes wetter than average in weeks 3 and 4. So I definitely think that's like a cooler and more unsettled sort of first half to August being predicted there by the JMA. Let's see what CFSV2 has to say about all this. If you're enjoying JMA Friday this week, then please can you smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Right, so we start off with the CFS 500 millibar height anomaly taking us from the 16th to 22nd of July. Agreement between the two models. The CFS has us under this large area of high pressure. So we're high and dry in the weekend. Going to be hot and dry to come. We go through to week 2, which is going to be the 23rd, 29th of July. Now, this is when the JMA is going to get a little bit of a breakdown. Starting to push up from the south. The CFS still more or less has us under high pressure. That high pressure is slipping a little bit further eastwards. This area is probably going to have some sort of trough where we've got this white area. So again, I think that might be getting a little bit of a breakdown as we go through the final week of July, but less pronounced than the JMA, and actually could still be really warm and probably quite hot, actually, as the wind with that is pulling in from like the south or from the southeast. So the second half of July definitely looks really, really warm here with both of these models, actually. Week 2 does show a change. This is week 3, I should say, does show a change. This is the 30th of July to the 5th of August. Then we find the high pressure splitting in two, really, so we have an area of above average height setting up in the middle of the North Atlantic. Some of the high is going towards the east of Europe as well. It doesn't show a trough of low pressure, but between those two ridges, we have probably got a trough setting up in the 500 millibar flow. So I reckon that's turning more unsettled. That's like a transition into something more unsettled, I would have thought, in week 3, and probably cooler as well. And then week 4 looks like that. It's a 6th through to the 12th of August. Below average height set up just to the north of the country. Above average heights to our southwest, west-southwest. We're bringing in the flow from off the Atlantic. We're turning more unsettled, with that turning cooler as well, probably quite significantly so compared to like the second half of July. So turning cooler, turning more unsettled, might be starting to line the wind flow and jet stream up on a northwest-southeast alignment. It looks like as we're going into August, we are breaking down this very warm and dry weather we've had through a large part of this July, to be honest. And it is very typical, you know, it happens so often that August lets things down after a good July. But again, it's all quite a long way off, so I wouldn't necessarily be taking it all that seriously. It's, you know, it's a couple of weeks till we get to the start of August, at least. Right, temperature anomalies with CFS for week 1, 16th, 22nd of July are going to be hotter than average. It's going to be a hot week coming up. Very warm week ahead. Week 2 is also hotter than average. This is the 23rd, 29th of July. That one is also very, very substantially warmer than average. Week 3 is still a little bit above average, but it's cooling down. This is the 30th of July to the 5th of August. Temperature is beginning to slide. Still a bit above average, though. And then week 4, a further slide in temperature anomalies taking place. It's the 6th to the 12th of August. By then, we're back to average. Notice most parts of Europe by week 4 are going a little bit cooler than average. So a definite slide in the temperature is taking place here into the first half of August. Precipitation anomalies, week 1, finally, 16th, 22nd of July. They're drier than average in week 8. Going to be hot and dry week coming up. Week 2 is the 23rd, 29th of July. So we revert close to average, have no signal perhaps for England, Wales. It is still driving average across Scotland. Notice though, to our south, just to our south, there's a little bit of green mare over France and around Biscay. That's probably hinting at like wetter than average conditions to our south and thunderstorms. Notice over here, most parts of like the Low Countries into Germany, wetter than average as well. So unfortunately, there could be more big thunderstorms to come. I think later on in the month across those parts of Europe that have had such devastating flooding. There may be more serious storms coming up. Week 3 is the 30th of July to 5th of August. Barely any signal really to work with, and week 4 also barely has any signal. It's the 6th to the 12th of July. By then, I think the CFS has lost a signal, but of course we're re-establishing an Atlantic flow by this point with low pressure to the north of Scotland. So I would have thought that's probably going to be, in the end, a rather wetter sort of week ahead. Right, so that's it for GMA Friday for this week. So essentially we're looking at a lot of dry and really warm weather through the next week anyway. We may start to see things breaking down, turning more thundery perhaps, particularly in the south as we get into the last week of July. And then you have to say, between the 2 months, there is quite a bit of evidence here that the first half of August could be shaping up to be rather cooler and rather more unsettled, possibly re-establishing an Atlantic flow and, pepping up the jet stream a little bit, bringing low pressure in from the North Atlantic and rain-bearing weather fronts and whatnot for the first half of August. Again, it's a long way off, so I wouldn't necessarily be that concerned about it at the moment, but we could be in for a classic sort of late summer deterioration here after a warm and relatively dry July. Right, we're going to be back very shortly, which is 10 to 14 today. That will include all our regular features, so come back for that then. For GMA Friday this week, that's all for now though, and thanks for watching.